Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we are back with the final week of the IBL D-League. We're going up against Buttermink and the Fort Wayne Gastrodons, I believe. And if you didn't see our battle from last week, we have actually qualified for playoffs. We clinched last week with a 5-0 win, so spoilers if you didn't see the last one, but yeah. This battle was kind of inconsequential, like it didn't matter in the end, but at this point I could still have got the second place, which would have given me a bye in the first round of the playoffs. So instead of bringing memes like I kind of wanted to this week, it did matter a little bit, so I thought I'd bring some reasonable sets. And yeah, his team, if I had it ready but I don't, his team was very scary. I don't know how he didn't do so great with this team. Going into this battle, I think he was 2-6, and it's kind of surprising because this team was very scary. There were so many things that could just beat my team, and yeah, I mean, just find his team. Where is he? Okay, so his team was Mew, Mega Charizard X, Zeraora, Rabombi, Excadrill, excuse me, Superior, Gigalith, Rotom Wash, Toxicroak, Alolan Persian, and Claydol. And the 6 that he brought, you can see on the screen, pretty much the 6 that I thought he would bring. I thought there was a chance Superior would come, because it just matches up relatively nicely against the things that I didn't bring this week. Namely, like the Regirock and the Piloswine. It does alright against, well, outspeeds most of my team, and after a Leaf Storm, it's actually quite difficult for a lot of my mons to take a hit. So yeah, I wasn't sure if that would turn up or not. I do have quite a few things that can check it, so I wasn't entirely sure. But I definitely expected Zeraora, the Mew, Mega Charizard X, the Excadrill, and because the Excadrill's there, the Gigalith, obviously. And then you're pretty much between Superior and Rotom Wash for that last spot. And he did go with the Rotom, and yeah, just at the start of this battle, his team is very scary. But the team we're bringing this week is a Grassy Seed Holucha with Drain Punch, Acrobatics, Swords Dance, and Substitute. Same 4 moves as last week. I think I brought it 3 weeks in a row now. Actually, the same set, but running enough speed. I think this is to outspeed a Jolly Excadrill in the sand, or it's either to outspeed like a Adamant or Modest Choice Scarf Zeraora. I can't remember which one was quicker, but that's what it's there to outspeed. The rest just kind of put into bulk, Adamant Nature. It's kind of a late game sweeper. If I can get rid of Mew, there isn't really a lot on his team that wants to take a hit, especially at +2. At +2 it kind of just sweeps his team. So next up we've got Victini, and this week I'm running something a little bit different. I was going to go with the Z Sunny Day, but there was never really any chance for me to get it off properly, and he can always go out into his Gigalith at any point and get rid of my son. So without Solar Beam, I kind of struggled to take down the Gigalith itself. About something like Focus Blast, I can miss, and Energy Ball, I think if he was running like an Assault Vest set, would not 2-hit KO. So this week I'm running a Mago Berry set with Flame Charge, Blue Flare, Psychic, and Energy Ball, and I'm running it so it can take a Earthquake from Mega Charizard X, because if it can take the Earthquake, I can Flame Charge and then Psychic, or I can hit with 2 Psychics, something along those lines, and get my Mago Berry in between. So it's sort of there to, if I can take a decent amount of damage and get a Flame Charge off, then it's in a really good position to sweep, because I don't necessarily need the Sun this week to be able to do that. Zeraora doesn't appreciate a hit. Superior just dies to a Blue Flare. Psychic should 2-hit KO Mega Charizard. Depending on his Mew set, Blue Flare can 2-hit KO. Blue Flare kills Excadrill. It does a lot of damage this week. And yeah, I think at +1 speed, I hopefully will outspeed all of his team, and Blue Flare and Psychic should just do enough damage. Energy Ball obviously there for the Rotom and the Gigalith. Next up we have Choice Band Bulu, and the set that I've currently got on this is not the Choice Band set that I brought, because I got Choice Band with Bulk Up and Sub on my my team builder. I'm fairly sure I was running Wood Hammer, Stone Edge, Horn Leech, and Toxic, because all I needed this week was the coverage of grass and rock. His best switch-ins were Superior and Mega Charizard, and really, like, neither of them wanted to take a Stone Edge. I think in the grassy terrain, unless it was a physically defensive Mega Charizard, or if it was a physically defensive Superior, they were going to take about half. If I can catch that Charizard on switching with a Stone Edge, then it just drops, it's just going to die. So yeah, Bulu has a really good matchup. It is slow this week. It's definitely going to be slower than his entire team, barring like a Gigalith or a Claydol. But yeah, it's going to hit hard. If I can get him to switch out, then something dies, pretty much. Next up we got Hydreigon, and this week Hydreigon is kind of like my Mega Charizard check. It's running a Habanberry, which means that if he doesn't get set up, I can switch this in, and if he goes for Flare Blitz, I can take a Flare Blitz plus a Outrage. If he goes for Dragon Dance on the first turn, I can take a +1 Outrage. And I can hit back with a Dragon Pulse that really should kill. I think it does kill if he's not running too much bulk, if any bulk at all. And considering I got Victinia's base 100, I'm expecting him to go kind of max. So yeah, that's what Hydreigon's here for. It does kind of double up as a relatively decent, I would say, Excadrill check, but at the same time, like, if he gets the Swords Dance up, it's not taking a +2 X Scissor. It is taking a +2 Iron Head, but not very well. It doesn't want to take it because it loses its ability to check Mega Charizard. And next up we've got Toxapex with Rocky Helmet, Gunk Shot, Scald, Toxic, Recover. Again, it stabs, kind of just hit what it needs to on this team. Scald is mainly there for the Excadrill, and as we're going to see in about, I kind of miss playing my Toxapex, but yeah, it's also got Toxic to be able to hit the Gigalith, because it can't really hit it very hard, or the Rotom. It'd be great to be able to Toxic the Mew as well, if that comes in, but at the end of the day, it's kind of here just for the Excadrill. It's probably my best check to it. It does double up as a check to Mega Charizard as well. As long as he doesn't set up a Swords Dance or anything like that, then I should be able to play around it. Toxapex, like, it can take a Drill Run before any kinds of boosts with Life Orb. So yeah, that's Toxapex this week. And lastly, we have Mega Aggron with Heavy Slam, Stomping Tantrum, Thunder Wave, and Stealth Rock. Mainly specially defensive, but it's kind of mixed bulk this week. It can kind of just take a hit from anything on his team. It's a decent pivot. It's not great because obviously no recovery, but it does pivot around his team fairly freely. Heavy Slam does the most damage to things like Superior, to Claydol, to Mew. I believe it does more to Gigalith as well than Stomping Tantrum, despite Gigalith being pretty heavy. Thunder Wave is 100% there for the Charizard. I can't have it setting up at all. It'd be nice if I could Thunder Wave the Mew as well, because I don't really care about being slowed down myself. And Stealth Rock is obviously Stealth Rock. So that's the team we're bringing this week. And looking at the matchup, I was thinking, unless he leads with Mega Charizard, there's really like no downside to leading with Bulu. His most likely leads are going to be Rotom or they're going to be Gigalith, and I feel like either of those probably going to want to switch out of. If he leads with his Zeraora, unless it's running any kind of poison move. I don't know if it gets any poison moves generally, but certainly if it gets HP poison, then I don't think that KOs unless he's max special attack like Life Orb. So yeah, I felt like Bulu was kind of best lead this week, and as we're going to see, he actually leads off with the Rotom, which is fantastic for me. And it gives me a chance, actually, if he decides to go for a Volt Switch. Firstly, that's very ballsy, because I could be Scarfed, I could be running like max speed. If he's not running max speed himself, then he certainly isn't going to want a Volt Switch. But certainly, I feel like he's just going to switch out. There's no way he leaves his Rotom in here. And I can kind of just hit something really hard with a Wood Hammer. Whatever he wants to bring in, he's not going to appreciate it. He actually stays, like, he doesn't hard switch, which is very ballsy. Because I've run Choice Scarf like 2 or 3 weeks in a row now. So him staying in and Volt Switching was an interesting play. If I was Scarf, then Wood Hammer would just killed, and he lost his best check, or one of his best checks, to Victini. So he actually goes out into his Gigalith, and this thing's just going to drop. It's kind of come in and done its job. I think all it needed really to do was set up the sand, and it does do half to me, I guess. That's another thing. If I clicked Horn Leech there, I'd be in a much better position, but now he's going to go out into his Excadrill, and like I said earlier, I played really badly around this. Switching out, I had to switch out. I didn't want to lose my Tapu Bulu this early in the battle, and unless he goes for ground type move for whatever reason on my Bulu, then Toxapex is 100% a free switch. And here, for whatever reason, I didn't really think my plays through, so I'm just going to pause. I didn't really think my plays through, and I should have thought he's lost his sand. Without sand, this Excadrill is kind of just bad. It gets outsped by most things on my team, or he thinks it'll get outsped by most things on my team, and he's just not going to want to waste this sand. For whatever reason, I thought he was going to switch out. I thought there's no way he stays in on Toxapex that's going to be able to check it, and I clicked Toxic here, and that's very bad for me. That's really bad, because if I clicked Scald, I would have done about half and potentially got a burn, and this Excadrill would just be kind of useless, which is why I thought he wouldn't stay in. But he just said that he wanted to make the most of the sand, even if he got burnt. Home Claws was his best play, and again, like at this point, I'm like, oh shit, I need to actually get the Scald off on this, not thinking he's just going to go for Drill Run, he's going to take me out. So I lose my Toxapex for free. Like, it literally didn't do anything in this battle, which is very unfortunate, especially when he's still got Charizard sitting in the back. And here I had to go out into my second answer to this Excadrill, and I'm going to take so much damage from that X-Scissor, but we are going to be able to hit with the Fire Blast, and I think this is a roll to take it out, but we do get the roll, fortunately. And arguably the biggest threat on his team is down, but his whole team is threats, so I don't know about that. So he's going to send out his Zeraora here. At this point, I have no reason to keep my Hydreigon around. I think he's just going to take me out, and I should have clicked Roost, so yeah, another misplay. And as you can see, I actually live on 1 health. I live on 1, and I am able to get a Dragon Pulse off on whatever wants to come in. But unfortunately, this Charizard is not Mega Evolved, so this Dragon Pulse is not going to do enough damage. And we're just going to go down to Sand. So already both my walls, well, 2 of my walls have kind of just dropped for no reason. And that kind of sucks. Like, both were just sacked off to Excadrill when I could have played it around so much better. If I had gone into my Hydreigon on the pretty obvious Drill Run, I'd be in a much better place, because I could have just kept switching and tried to wear down as many turns of sand until it's a point where his sand run out and I could just go out into whatever pretty much and be able to kill it in return. Or if I had gone into Hawlucha on that first turn, that would have been fine as well. Like, Hawlucha, looking at his team, probably wasn't going to be able to sweep. He still had Mew, he still had Zeraora, both of which can take a hit without a Swords Dance. And yeah, that may be my play, because at +1 defense I've been sitting pretty good. I don't think I would have been 2-hit KO'd by Iron Head. I may have been, but I would have been outspeeding and threatened him out at the very least. But yeah, we end up sacking off 2 monster Excadrill, and it's put us in a really bad position, like pretty much straight away. Though we've killed his Sand Setter, now that doesn't matter at all. We lost half our health on a Bulu doing it. So yeah, we're not in a great place. And here I'm just going to go for the Psychic, because regardless of what he does, I know I can take a hit. Unless he goes for the Dragon Dance, and Psychic at the range he was at had a chance to kill. After Sand, it was definitely going to kill. So it seemed like a safe play. It didn't really allow him to set up. It didn't allow him to roost up. And here he's just going to switch out. I couldn't, again, let him keep roosting on me. I know he has recovery whilst I don't, so he could sit there and just let the Sand chip away at me a little bit. But he goes out into his Mew, and this Mew's annoying. I don't know what kind of set it's running at the moment, so I'm going to go out into my Aggron. It seems like a fairly safe switch. Regardless of whether he's physical or special, I can take any move this Mew wants to throw at me, and he just goes for a U-turn, which does absolutely nothing. And he goes back out into his Charizard, I believe. Oh no, he goes out into his Rotom. This Rotom is now going to be really annoying for me. It's going to keep getting all kinds of momentum for his team. But I don't know why he didn't go straight out into Zard. Maybe he was just expecting... I don't know. He just didn't go out to Zard there. He goes for the Volt Switch. I guess he just wanted a bit more damage. But I'm just going to get my rocks. At this point, looking at his team, he's probably got Defog on that Rotom, but I felt like I could just sit there and pretty much just keep spamming rocks until he killed me and make sure my rocks stay up. But he goes out into his Charizard, and here, I don't want him setting up, I don't want him roosting. I'm just going to go for the Thunder Wave to slow this thing down. Because once it's paralysed, it really doesn't do a whole lot against my team. It means my Bulu can outspeed, and unfortunately we miss. So that really sucks, because now he's going to predict that. I think I was a little bit tilted by that, and I just clicked Thunder Wave again. The correct play would have just been to switch out, but again, like, I had very little to switch into Mega Charizard at this point. And I go back out to my Bulu. I know I can take any one hit, as he's going to go for the Hydro Pump, but it does a decent chunk to me. But I do resist every move that he goes for. I'm expecting this to be Defog, and now I've seen Volt Switch and Hydro Pump. I'm pretty much sure his last move's got to be Will-O-Wisp or Toxic. Or it could be Thunder Wave, actually, thinking about it, for my Holucha. But he's just going to switch out, and here, if I got the Paralysis on his Charizard, I would have 100% risked going for Stone Edge, because it would have meant that I outsped, and I could have clicked Stone Edge twice. If I missed the first one, then at least I got the second one. I should be able to hit. However, because he wasn't paralysed, I didn't want to risk missing and then him being able to set up. So I just go for a Toxic, which again for me is really kind of risky from potentially missing. But yeah, I could have gone for Stone Edge and just killed here, but instead I go for the Toxic, and that's going to be nice. At least it's going to wear down this Charizard pretty slowly. Does mean that he can't keep roost stalling, but at this point I have to switch out because I am Bandit, and I don't expect him to double out into anything, especially because he may think that I am choiced. So yeah, I gotta go back out into my Aggron. At this point it is the only thing that can even take a hit from Zard. I mean, my choices there was I could have stayed in. In hindsight, staying in probably would have been better, because preserving some health on this Aggron was kind of necessary for his Zeraora. But it is what it is. Like, at this point I felt like I had no real checks to this Charizard, and I didn't want it setting up. If he had worked out what I'm choiced at that point, then he could have set up all the Dragon Dances on me, and that would have been terrible. So he's going to go out into his Rotom. I think at this point he probably realises that I just don't have anything for him. I go for the Stomping Tantrum. It's not going to hit, obviously, because of Levitate, and this Rotom has been really annoying. It's been much more annoying than it really should have been. But he's going to go for the Thunderbolt, and we actually take this after that grassy terrain and get off a Heavy Slam, which is actually quite nice. It does put it in range, potentially, of an Energy Ball, depending on the set that he's running. So that's kind of ideal. Victini's starting to look a little bit better as a late game sweeper, but it's still not looking great. Like, his Mew is still at full, his Zeraora is still at full, so it's not ideal, but yeah, after another turn of rocks, he's definitely in range of a Energy Ball. As he's just going out into his Charizard, and here I was expecting him to either go for the Outrage or go for Earthquake, because either of those would put me in range of my Mago Berry popping, and after a Mago Berry, I'm actually in a very good position, because that would mean I outspeed a Zeraora, because I'm going to Flame Charge here, and I'm going to be at a decent enough amount of health that once the Mago Berry has been popped, I will be able to take a knockoff. I can take a Plasma Fist, and I can take things like Thunderbolt. I can take anything from that Zeraora, and it'll be quicker depending whether or not he's Scarfed. Haven't seen at this point whether he's Scarfed or not, but actually he just goes for the Dragon Claw, and this is a position where actually if I'd been less physically defensive, I'd probably been in a better position, but it is what it is. We're now at +1 speed, and at a decent amount of health anyway, to a point where I can actually kill the Zeraora, or outspeed, and nothing can kill me. And here I misplay. As you're going to see, I switch out. My play 100% here was to risk the Energy Ball. I was looking at his sets, and I knew he's got enough speed to outspeed my Tapu Bulu, so he's running a relatively decent amount of speed. But I thought it'd be just like max Spadef, and if it was like a high Spadef kind of set, if it was Calm Nature, it was a roll and not a great roll for me to be able to take him out, and that was kind of a problem for me because I needed Victini to be able to kill the Mew. At this point I have nothing else really to deal with the Mew, so yeah, instead I'm just going to sack off my Tapu Bulu to get up the Grassy Train to guarantee that I kill with Energy Ball, but at that point, like, it doesn't put me in a better place at all. Like, if I kill the Rotom, I'm slower than the Zeraora, and it can hit me with whatever, and it can do a decent amount of damage. If it goes for knockoff, then that's a major issue for me, because my Mago Berry gets knocked off, and yeah, I'm not going to be at a good enough amount of health to be able to take any hits. So yeah, we're kind of in a bad position now because I didn't want to risk it. I mean, had I risked it and died, then I would have lost, but I think it was probably my better play to try and win this one. So yeah, he goes out into his Zeraora, and again, like, hindsight's 2020, if I had gone for Flame Charge here, that would have been a much better play for me. I think Flame Charge into Blue Flare would have killed. Instead I just go for the Blue Flare. I kind of expect him to go for like Plasma Fist there, and I get my Mago Berry and we'd all be good. But sadly not. I'm not sure if Flame Charge into Blue Flare would have killed. It probably would have done enough, I would have thought. And here I kind of had to make a play. So I see the knockoff and I'm thinking, okay, if he goes for knockoff again, then going out into my Hawlucha is by far my best play. If he goes for Plasma Fists, I do take one after the Grassy Seed, boost my defense, and at that point I can Drain Punch this, and then I can Acrobatics the Mew, and then I go for the Blue Flare on the Mew. And depending on that Mew set, I'm expecting it to be kind of bulky. I will outspeed my Victini and then kill it. That was like my game plan at this point. However, unfortunately, he's going to show that he is actually a special Zeraora, and they're just, yeah, Hawlucha's just going to die, and unfortunately we are going to lose this one 2-0. I could have played it a lot better. There was definitely times in this game where I could have played much better. I could have preserved my Mons, especially early game with that extra drill. I could have preserved them so much better, but I kind of just misplayed it, and I didn't really think through my plays properly, and that really hurt me at the end of the day. But it is what it is. We still make playoffs. Good game to Buttermink. He played well. He did what he needed to win, and I kind of just gifted him like 2 Mons at the start of the battle, which kind of sucked. But we still make playoffs, so we will actually face mid. We've faced mid again. We face him in every league, and now we're facing him again in playoffs. The second time in this league. But his team is probably harder for me to deal with this time around. He traded a couple of Mons away and got Celesteela, which means he has a perfectly good check to my Tapu Bulu this time. He was certainly lacking one outside of Sapsip and Miltank, and yeah, now it's just going to be a bit more of a problem. Certainly had to prep differently for a team with Celesteela, but yeah, if we win, we win. I'm happy to have made playoffs. That was kind of like the goal for the start of the season, and albeit we ended with a 5-4 record, which wasn't amazing, it's enough to get us into playoffs. So yeah, good game again to Buttermink. I will see you guys in the first rounds of playoffs against mid. Have a great day. Peace.